In this episode, we finally arrive in the Superior National Forest of Minnesota. We get out on the water in the kayak and get some fish in the boat. This is the first cast, by the way.
Fish on! It's a little folk. It's a little folk.
First fish, a little pike. Not worthy of keeping.
Good morning. First night in the tent. I don't know if you can tell, but my air mattress must have a hole in it because it went flat. And so I slept on the ground, on the floor of the forest. And the ground is not flat where my tent is, so it was an interesting experience, to say the least. Sleeping on my sides wasn't too bad, but sleeping like this, oh boy. Also, this is my morning voice. This is how I sound when I wake up. I could get some voice acting gigs, playing like a villain or something, you know, like, you don't know the power of the dark side of the Force. The dark side can be an avenue to many abilities that some would call unnatural. Or I could do like a really deep Davy Jones. Do you fear death? Do you fear that dark abyss? Join my crew and postpone the judgment 100 years before the mast. Will ye serve? I will serve. Good. You are neither dead nor dying. What is your purpose here? Jack Sparrow sent me to settle his debt. What was that? Jack Sparrow sent me to settle his debt. Did he now? I'm sorely tempted to accept that offer. You were captain of the Black Pearl. That was our agreement. Yes, but I was viciously marooned. Then you were a poor captain, but a captain nonetheless. You know, that's all I got. Now I gotta embark on the challenge of making coffee. And it rained, so everything's wet outside. The wood's all wet. Ooh. But real quick, here's the setup. So, it's like an A-frame classic tent design. It's awesome. You've got the bar. It goes boom, 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 boom. Very easy to set up. Very spacious. Then I got this sleeping bag. I don't know. It's like for like 30-degree weather or something. And then this awesome air mattress that has a hole in it somewhere. And then some pillows. I like pillows when I'm camping. At least this air mattress died on this trip instead of last year, because last year we went up into the woods of Canada and there would be no way to get another air mattress. So at least it, died when I'm camping at a campsite. in America where I can go and get another air mattress probably.
Hello, this is Jack from the future. What happened on this day was uneventful. My father and I drove about an hour and a half to the closest town and went to a Walmart where we acquired new air mattresses as ours had deflated through the night. So, snap to me the very next morning after waking up on a nice air mattress.
Hello, it is day number 5, I think. I didn't record anything yesterday because, well, I did record in the morning. And you saw that my air mattress had gone completely flat, which those were older air mattresses. So yesterday, we just spent the day driving back into the closest town where there's a Walmart, which took like 2 hours, and got a new air mattress, as you can see. So now we're back off the ground, which is lovely. And then we just rested because I was wiped out. Oh, we also changed our campsites because our favorite campsite was occupied the night that we got here, but those people left the next morning. So we tore down camp and moved it all over here. And so now we're in the best campsite at this camp. And got new air mattresses and then just rested the rest of yesterday. I was wiped out and it was hot. And then in the evening, it just started storming. It was just a thunder and lightning storm. So we didn't go fishing or anything because it was just raining all evening. So we just slept. And so today, it's not raining. And so today we're finally going to go fishing. So I don't know if we're going to go fishing on the Vermilion River or if we're going to go fishing on Echo Lake, or we'll see. We're going to go fishing somewhere though. So stay tuned. My tent held up nicely in the rain. And I finished the Chamber of Secrets Harry Potter audiobook on cassette because there's no cell service out here, so you're off the grid. So I've got my cassette player, my collection of Harry Potter cassettes narrated by Jim Dale, the best. And so I listened to Chamber of Secrets yesterday, which was nice. Now I'm laying here and I've got like an hour and a half until my dad gets back and wants to go fishing. So I might start the Prisoner of Azkaban right now, or I might just go back to sleep. I don't know. Actually, now that I'm awake, I'm kind of just awake, so I think I'm gonna make some coffee. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the proper way to make coffee when you're camping. All right. There are lots of ways, but this is the best way. This is the correct way. Actually, yeah, I'm about to show you. Let's start from the beginning. Howdy, partner. I'm about to show you how to make a mean cup of joe in the morning. And that's a fact. First thing first, though, we're gonna get a different shirt out of my car because this one is just way too wet from all that rain yesterday. So that right there, that's my tent. This is the new campground. That's my dad's tent. More of a yurt, really. But the nice thing about that was when it was pouring and we were cooking out here, we were able to bring everything in there real quick and eat and finish cooking without getting absolutely rained on. But here we have the essentials.
One, a French press. A French press is the best way to make coffee in the woods, in my opinion. We've got the burner and the water and one coffee cup. And this, of course.
Alrighty, we are now more dressed for the day, which means that it is coffee time.
Alright, first things first, get the water boiling.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, let the court records dictate that that was entirely way too much coffee to be putting into a French press. I don't know what I was thinking, but do not do as you just saw.
And now, we wait.
Indeed, Gwendoline the Weird enjoyed being burned so much that she allowed herself to be caught no less than 47 times in various disguises.
You know, this right here, making coffee, was actually my first video production project in college. Our teacher gave us a bunch of B-roll footage of coffee being prepared, and we had to take all those clips and edit it into a little video, add music, narration, and stuff, you know. So,
Harry was particularly keen to avoid
this whole process when I'm editing it will remind me of that lesson in college. Oh boy.
Without realizing it for a whole hour. Yet another unusual thing about Harry was how little he looked forward to his birthdays. He had never received a birthday card in his life. The Dursleys had completely ignored his last two birthdays, and he had no reason to suppose they would remember this one. Harry walked across the dark room, past Hedwig's large empty cage, to the open window. He leaned on the sill, the cool night air pleasant on his face after a long time under the blankets. Hedwig had been absent for 2 nights now. Harry wasn't worried about her. She'd been gone this long before, but he hoped she'd be back soon. She was the only living creature in this house who didn't flinch at the sight of him. Harry, though still rather small and skinny for his age, had grown a few inches over the last year. His jet black hair, however, was just as it always had been.
Now that's coffee. Now we just sit back and listen to Harry Potter.
Was a thin scar shaped like a bolt of lightning. Of all the unusual things about Harry, this scar was the most extraordinary of all. It was not, as the Dursleys had pretended for 10 years, a souvenir of the car crash that had killed Harry's parents, because Lily and James Potter had not died in a car crash. They had been murdered. Murdered by the most feared dark wizard.
Gearing up for this trip, I acquired a DJI drone. However, I hadn't flown it to any considerable altitude prior to this trip. So this was really the maiden voyage. And because of the sensors on my drone, it stopped the drone from flying further because it kept detecting the branches of these trees and locking me out of the controls. However, once I successfully navigated around said tree branches, I was pretty impressed with the view that I got, because I've been camping at this site for many years now, and I had never seen its proximity to this lake. So seeing that for the first time from a bird's eye view, and then just seeing the rich density that is the Superior National Forest around me. So I was already excited to get drone footage, but after I saw the footage that I got from the first flight, I was very excited. Pondering while drinking one's morning coffee is a pretty regular activity. However, in a moment of divine clarity and inspiration, I think that I stumbled upon the Mega Shaka. Alright, we are now chilling inside the car for two reasons. One, the mosquitoes are eating me, sucking my blood, and then also my amplifier, cassette player need to be charged. And I can charge them through this little guy. Charging it up. So we're just replenishing the batteries, as it were. Now, the reason that I'm chilling this morning, listening to Harry Potter, is because my dad's a music teacher, and about a couple miles north of here, there's a lodge hotel type deal, and they've got free Wi-Fi. And that's the only place where you can connect your phone around here. So he's over there doing a virtual lesson, guitar lesson, I believe. So when he gets back from that, then we're gonna go fishing. So right now, we're letting the amp charge, listening to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, as Aunt Marge is now insulting Harry. And I believe this chapter is chapter 2, called Aunt Marge's Big Mistake.
Corked several bottles of wine. They got all the way through the...
Well, we're on our way to go fishing for the first day of our trip. Got the fishing licenses, heading to the water access point. But you're just never going fast enough for some people, you know? Like, if there's anything I've learned from driving in America, which I've had my license since I was 16, so I've been driving for almost 15 years. And I always drive 5 miles per hour above the speed limit. If it's 55, I go 60. If it's 35, I go 40. If it's, 75, I go 80. That's my motto, right? And it's never fast enough. There's always somebody that wants to go 85, 90, 95. And like, for example, we're here in the North Woods. There's nowhere to go. There's no hustle or bustle or reason that anybody should be speeding ridiculously. The speed limit here is 55. I'm going 60. And these trucks just really need to speed up and pass us in the oncoming lane of traffic, right? It's the same way in Illinois, though. Everybody, I'm never going fast enough for anyone, even though I'm always speeding. But this guy right here just passed me, and as soon as he passed me, slows down and makes a right-hand turn. It's like, you couldn't have waited the extra 45 seconds that it would have taken for you to get to your exit point. Like, you really had to pass me in order to make a right-hand turn. I'll never understand that. Now, who said that a Prius wasn't an all-terrain vehicle for the back roads? She's handling just fine. Just fine, no problems at all. Take me to the water. Drop me in the river. Take me to the water. Drop me in the river. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Boom. Not a problem. We have made it to our destination. Now we put the boat in the water. However, before we go fishing, we gotta get that bird's eye view POV. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, because this is what I'm talking about right here. It's an establishing shot. You know, you gotta get the people involved in understanding where you're fishing. You know, we're trying to tell a story here. Gosh. Alright, now that we're out here on the Vermilion River, we're gonna go upriver to those rapids and anchor at the base of that. So I think that's where the fish are gonna be. And just like that, we're anchored in. Oh my goodness, struggle bus. As my friend CBJ would say, get this guy a manual. Welcome to the inside of my tackle box. Now, this is an intimate moment. I know that some women are intimate about letting people look into their purses. Well, it's the same for me in my tackle box. Now, what do we think the odds are that we catch a fish on the first cast?
Fish on! It's a little hike. It's a little hike.
First fish, a little pike. Not worthy of keeping.
I found a hike. It's another little guy. He's another little guy. Not very big. Hello, buddy. I'm gonna get this out of your mouth, okay? I'll come to the dentist's office. I'm very sorry about this. Very sorry indeed. There you go. Nice little fish. Go off. Go off. There you go.
That's fish number 2. The mosquitoes are rather terrible up here, but out here on the water, no bugs. I don't want to jinx it, but so far, no bugs. Just a beautiful sunny day.
Fish on! Another small one.
That would be fish number 3. Now, you may be asking yourself, why do you wear a glove when you're taking the hook out of the pike's mouth? Well, pike are very slimy, covered in slime. And a couple years ago, I was taking a hook out of a pike's mouth and I didn't have a glove on. So I didn't really have a firm grip on the fish, and it wriggled and it slipped, and the treble hook went right through the fleshy part of the top of my thumb and through my thumbnail. So in order to avoid that, I add a grippy glove. I really enjoy it. But some people out there will be like, what a sissy, needing to wear a glove. Just grab the fish. I disagree. Thank you very much.
Well, it's not a hike.
Alrighty, now here we have a bass. This is not a northern pike. Say hello, fishy. And that's fish number 4. 3 pike, 1 bass. And look, no hat. I'm smiling. That's for my mom. She doesn't want the hat, and she wants smiles. So no hat and smiles. And we're catching fish. Solid day here near the Canada-USA border. You know, ever since I was a little kid, you'd fish for a while, catch a couple fish, and then you stop catching fish. So I would always say, you know, that fish must have told the other fish what's going on, that there's something fishy going on. No pun intended. But I think it's also highly possible that fish are more intelligent than we give them credit for, and that they have the ability to communicate. So I think it's actually legitimate. Like, I think after you catch a couple fish in a spot, I think the odds are pretty high that those fish have some way of communicating to one another, that, you know, there's something fishy going on. Because I think in my lifetime, which I turned 30 in like a week, I think we've come to find out that a lot of life on Earth is smarter than we think, or that we give it credit for. Like birds, you know, like crows are really smart, and stuff like that, you know. Killer whales, they all have ways of communicating, even if we can't decipher it or figure out what they're saying. So I think that those pike that I caught told the other fish in the area, like, hey, something weird's going on. Alright, well, we're not having much luck here anymore, so we're gonna move downstream a bit. So, anchors away. Anchors away, anchors away. Now for all you perverts out there, I'm too lazy to blur out my feet. So just don't do anything nasty, you freaks. Check this out. My grandma really loves these water lilies, so this is a moment to appreciate the water lily. Shout out, Grandma. Beautiful. I was appreciating the water lily. Well, fish have stopped biting. I think the sun is too high in the sky and it's too warm for them, so they're not biting on anything. I've just been chilling. My dad caught a handful of fish as well. He caught a bass and, I don't know, 3 or 4 pike, so I think we're at like 8 or 9 fish that we've caught so far, which isn't bad. 2 of them are keepers. Now, I'm a catch and release fisherman. I know that that's appalling to some fishermen. I just don't like fish. I was raised vegan. I didn't eat any kind of meat until I was like at least 10 years old. So I don't have the palate for it. I've tried all kinds of fish. I mean, I lived in Hawaii for 4 years. I've tried all kinds of fish. So I don't want to hear, oh, you just have to try it. No, I don't like how it tastes. And that's the end of that. But my dad, he really likes fish. So he's going to clean and fry up those bass that we caught. But we haven't kept any of the pike because when the pike are little like that, they're just nothing but bones, you know? Like even the bigger pike, like not last year, but the year before, I caught a 36-inch pike, and it was still just tons of bones, tons of bones. So yeah, first day of fishing though, 8 fish. I'd say that's a successful day of fishing. I'm just happy to catch them. I like to catch them, look at them, appreciate them, toss them back, let them continue to live. Because you know what they say, fish off friends, not food. I'm just missing Kermit's banjo. Bong dong 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 dong. Bong dong 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 dong. And why are there so many flies buzzing around my head? And why do they want to land on my hair? These flies are annoying, but not as annoying as mosquitoes. 'Cause mosquitoes, they suck all of your blood. Like, get off, leave me alone. This fly is peeving me. Oh, now there's 3 of them. Oh, goodness. Stop it! Stop it! Leave me alone. I'm serious. I'm serious. Serious Black. Alrighty. That's enough fishing for the day. My GoPro's about to die. So I'm gonna go grab my drone, and before we leave, I'm gonna get some establishing drone shots of this area where we fished today. This will be the inaugural drone flight in Minnesota. So fingers crossed that this goes well. I'm new to drone piloting. I did a test run back on my farm, which went well, so hopefully this goes as well or better. So yeah, that wasn't fun at all. So just to clarify, the first night my air mattress deflated and I had to sleep on the ground. And then this night it stormed for hours. The most obnoxious loud rain that I had ever heard. It was like snowball-sized droplets landing on the tent, and it was causing water to flow under my tent, and it was causing my air mattress to float ever so slightly to the point that I was sliding forwards and backwards in the tent. It was a little ridiculous. But anyways, thank you for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next one, where I continue to fish and kayak up here in the boundary waters of Minnesota. Until next time.